Live? All righty. How you doing, Toots? Remember that from
Your son is shaking his head. It's like
you don't remember that
your
from
son is
Little
shaking
Rascals?
his head at you.
Wow. Okay, cool. Okay. Whatever, son. You working over there. Okay, you behind the camera. Okay.
Hello, I'm Danielle.
I'm Steven, and we are turning two into one.
Two, and it's a process.
Yes, it's a process. She over there shopping. We shopping.
Oh,
We shopping.
of course.
Well, we trying to help the people.
No, I'm shutting that part of it down.
We trying to help the peoples, and she over there shopping.
And you still looking. You're supposed to be on here trying to figure out what we're talking about today.
Here we go. So we have been talking about choices, and so we started off talking about the difference between mistakes and choices, and how bad choices are not mistakes, and mistakes are not bad choices, and knowing the difference between the two. And I gotta look kind of good with this suit on here. Okay, cool. There we go. All right, I might do this. This might be a regular.
Not for me. I'm not wearing a suit every time.
Wear your church lady suit.
No,
with a big hat,
I don't
and a
know.
big brim.
I got too much hair on my head for that.
All right, I digress. Okay, so we were talking about choices and mistakes, and so we that was our first intro into it, because what commonly happens is that people make bad choices, and then when their bad choices don't turn out the way that they think they should or the way they had hoped, they classify it as a mistake. When in reality, it's more like a bad choice. You had good information. You had people that were telling you. You had that guy. He was showing you. He was the way he was, and all that kind of stuff. And so you didn't believe him. You thought you change him. You thought you change her. Whatever. And so that's a bad choice, not a mistake. And so we talked about that and the evolution of that. And then we talked on last week about how to.
That's Proverbs 9,
Yeah.
1 through 6.
Yeah, Proverbs 9, 1 through 6. So we focused on verse 6, I believe it was, son. And can you?
Yeah, verse 6. Yeah.
Engineer.
I'm not quite engineer yet.
Bro, can you leave your nails alone? Really? You need a manicure?
I need to cut.
I gotta do that afterwards. At any rate.
Okay, cool.
Let's get back to our program here.
So, verse 6. Is verse 6 on the screen?
Proverbs 9 and 6 says, do not correct. Oh, no, that's number 8. Okay. Leave behind your foolishness and the foolish and live and walk in the way and insight and understanding.
Walk in the way of insight and understanding. So leave behind your foolishness. And so we talked about last week the separation of that bad behavior, right? If you're gonna, the saying is that if you're ever going to get out of a hole, you have to stop digging. And so you have to start making better choices. And along with those better choices, you might have to get rid of the foolish, the people that are around you. When you have people around you and you make dumb choices and they agree with them, or they tell you, baby, no, it ain't that bad. No, I don't know. You might need to get some different counsel. And so that's what we're going to talk about today, is how to consistently make those better decisions, right? And so one of the things that we're going to talk about very briefly is counsel, having good counsel. So we talked last week about leaving the foolish and the foolishness. Now what you have to do is you have to surround yourself with people who are smarter than you, who now understand something. Just because a person is here doesn't mean they were never here.
Right.
So you need the person that's here, that was at one time here, so that they can tell you how to get here. And people want to make believe or make you think that they've never had challenges or that they've never been in a certain place. And so that's why when you start to having those, choosing out those people for counsel, you also need transparency.
Right.
Okay. I've not always been who I am right now. I've not always thought the way that I think right now. I've made some, dumb choices, right? And I could just go down the line. At least two of them I could think of right now. It's probably only two, right?
Oh,
it's probably only two. Only two. It's probably like when they asked me, "Do you want fries with that shake?" And I was like, "Yeah, let me get the shake," and ended up upset my stomach. That's one right there. And then, is there another one? No, I don't know. Okay, but anyway.
Right.
So, all right.
So the scripture that I just with his is a fool's ways are right in his own eyes.
Exactly. Yes, they are. People don't want to be wrong, and being right, I'm telling you, is overrated. It is really overrated, and people fight to be right. They battle to be right, so that you could just I don't know, maybe it's like you got a flag or something, you sticking it up on the hill and like, I'm right.
Yeah.
That's overrated. And we see marriages topple all the time because one person wants to be right. One person thinks that they're smarter than the other or have more insight than the other one. But here the Bible talks about being humble and not thinking of yourself more highly than you ought to. So then that's an issue. If you can't take advice, if you can't take counsel, you think yourself more highly than you should. Because the Bible also talks about us always being teachable, able to be taught. And if you can't be teachable, what God gonna do with you? He can do nothing with you. If you know it all, you God. Right. You're not one of us. You're like him. But if you knew it all, maybe you'd have more money. Maybe you wouldn't have all these bad relationships. Maybe you wouldn't have, maybe you'd have all the things that you've dreamed and all of that kind of stuff. Maybe if you knew it all, but you don't, and we don't. So you need counsel. You need people around you that you can ask a question. The genius of Jesus and his disciples was that they could ask Jesus a question. They could ask him a question and say, Jesus, okay, we see you doing that over there. How can we do that?
Although he did go off on him.
Yeah, he did go off on him a couple times. Yeah, because he said, because you've been watching me all this time and you don't know how to do this? But if you've been hanging around me, some questions you shouldn't have to ask.
But thank God,
Yeah, but thank God.
That, and then he went on
and he did tell them, even after he gave him the verbal beatdown, he still gave them he gave them what they had asked for, and he gave them those instructions. So you want people around you that you can ask a question. But now you also have to submit to the answer. You might want to write that down. You have to submit to the answer. If you don't know it all, then you probably don't know the answer, or at least have not embraced it. You might know what it takes, but you've not submitted to what it takes. And those are different. Knowing what to do and submitting to what you know to do and doing it, those are two different things. And we are people who know what to do and don't do it.
What is that? Applied wisdom, applied knowledge is wisdom.
Exactly.
And so that was where we started off at, is wisdom crying at the gates. And
crying at the gate.
Done to build her house. And so it's actually just applying what you know. What you know to do. Working it out, working it through.
Aside from your emotions. Yeah. Because I think our emotions come into play so many times when we know what to do and we just don't feel like doing it. Yeah. Or we don't feel like that's what we want to do. Right. And so then that knowledge is battling against our feelings. Yeah. And I'm going to tell you something. 99% of the time, if you're not used to this kind of back and forth between your knowledge and your emotions are going to win. Yeah. Excuse me. They're just going to win. And then you'll look around 5, 6, 7, 8, 10 years from now, and you'll be in the exact same place you are right now.
And time will go on.
Time will move.
Things are still going to happen, whether you apply the wisdom or not.
Exactly.
And so it'll actually be harder for you, because a lot of time people talk about, it's going to take so much out of me and blah, blah, blah. But then you've wasted all this time, and that's taking things out of you. And tomorrow
is coming anyway. It's going to come.
So you might as well do the hard part, bite the bullet and do it anyway.
there's a saying that one of my real estate brokers used to say is that a year from now, you'll wish you started today.
Yeah.
And that's kind of how I keep that in the back of my mind. When I want to start something a year from now, I wish I had started today.
Mm-hmm.
So why not start today? All right. So you need good counsel, and you need to submit to that counsel. All right. The next thing you need is you need a higher standard. Okay. That's a lot of things happen to us because our standard is so low that we allow it to happen and allow it to keep happening because our standard is so low. I'm talking to my ladies now. Your standard is low, sweetie. That's why you keep running into them guys that ain't treating you right, because your standard is low. I'd much rather be alone than wishing I was. You have to raise your standard. You have to raise the level of what you expect. It's always interesting to me how people have low standards in relationships, but when they go to McDonald's, they will cuss the person out if you don't get pickles on your sandwich.
I wanted pickles.
Yeah.
I told you.
You'll fight.
Pickles.
You'll fight because they didn't put pickles on your sandwich. But you'll let a person disrespect you just because you love him and he said he loved you, or vice versa. You'll let them do whatever they want to do, but over the hamburger, they leave the mustard off. You want to turn over the tables and chairs, like you got some righteous indignation. No.
That's a problem with our society.
But it is a problem with our society. But all societal problems stem from personal problems.
Oh, yeah.
You see, it was first a personal issue, and then it became a societal issue because what I did was I spread it out to all those around me. It was almost like an infection. So if you raise your standard and raise what you accept, and I mean realistic expectations, right? Don't expect a person to treat you a certain way if you are not willing to do that for yourself. And if you have not modeled that. This is for my husbands, okay? So guys, if you want your wife to do X, Y, and Z, model it. You do it. Mm-hmm. Don't say, hey, baby, how come the kitchen always dirty? And you ain't never cleaned the kitchen. You ain't never washed the dish. Baby, how come we got dust balls under the bed? Because you didn't get them from under there. As a leader, you have to set the tone for how you want things to be and how they're going to exist. But you got to have a standard first. And that standard is what sets the tone for everybody else behind you. Because if you don't adhere to the standard, how do you expect somebody else to adhere to it? So your standard is going to determine your decisions. And they're not always going to be easy decisions. But your standard will uphold you. And in the end, you'll be better off because first you had a standard. You had good counsel. You submitted to that good counsel. And your standard made you make better decisions. And by making better decisions, you end up in a better place. All right? Now, one final thing is get rid of the guilt. You were dumb and stupid. So was I. So was all of us. Was all of us?
We were all of us.
Yes.
Yeah, we were all of us.
All of us.
And we still will make mistakes. It's just one of those things where, I had that conversation with Stevie. The same grace that you wish to receive, you have to give. Yeah. And I got a friend of mine that he taught a lesson about that, about the grace that we desire that we won't give to somebody else. Yeah. And we won't allow them that space to get it right. Right. And you have to allow your time, you have to allow yourself that space. No, Rome was not built in a day, and neither were you, right? And all of the choices that you've made have brought you to this point, right? But that's okay. Where you are is just where you start off at. Right. It ain't no big deal. Nobody gets upset at the starting line, right? I don't want to be at the end. I don't want to start here.
So just imagine this, that making new decisions is the starting line. Mm-hmm. That is immaturity. Yeah, but you have to make new decisions. You got to start somewhere. Make them small. If you're trying to live a healthier life, go through your house and get rid of everything that's not healthy. That would cause you to fall or cause you to slip. Right? if you say to yourself, you know what, I don't want to be around this person because these people cause me or motivate me to do X, Y, and Z, get rid of their phone numbers, right? Tell them don't call. Say, hey, look, you good and all, but I gotta put some space in there.
Right.
If they're a good friend, if they're a good person, they'll understand that. But you have to build a better you, and that means you're gonna have to make some different decisions, and you're gonna have to start where you are right now.
Yep. Start today.
And that begins by forgiving yourself for whatever you've done in the past. It is what it is, and we are where we are.
Yeah, because today is the yesterday that we didn't do it.
Exactly. Yeah, that's right. We could have did it yesterday.
Well, okay, that's not gonna we don't have to digress.
No.
Today is the yesterday.
Today is the day.
We didn't do it, so let's do it today.
Let's do it today. Let's start today making better choices so that we can end up with a better life. All right. So now, we have our flyer for the Mother's Day special, Couples on the Couch.
Couples on the Couch.
All right. So, is it on? Is it up?
Working on it.
All right. So our son is working on that. So I have shared a couple of flyers, and I hope that you guys are sharing them as well.
Pull us out.
I've tagged in quite a few people.
I was telling somebody today that were asking about Couples on the Couch, and
Yeah.
I was telling them how Mother Glenn has kind of helped to keep us, keep our marriage solid, because my wife was a trip.
Wow. That was a trip.
And so Mother Glenn would it was me, and Mother Glenn would tell her, hey, have patience with him. God's still working on him,
No, it was both of us. I mean, to be honest with you, because I was you can't grow up on 12th Street and be a punk. So that's just not going to happen.
You grew up on 12th Street? No, I'm just joking.
Be scared.
Be very afraid.
Right? So, we're excited about what's going to happen.
So it's 6 o'clock on Saturday. We'll start our Couples on the Couch. And so sign in with your questions, your comments, please be there. I will be present.
He's going to be on there. Y'all know he's going to be
I'll be present. However, this is a time for the ladies, but there might be some questions that ladies might ask. And so I'll be present.
Husbands have mothers.
Yes, they
husbands have wives. We have sons who need maybe some time to talk to a mother whose mother may not. So it's actually going to be good because, everybody doesn't have good examples growing up. And I believe that it's God ordained when somebody comes into your life and that can speak into your life and give you wisdom. We were just talking about that. Wisdom is everywhere. It's like, come on, I'm trying to get you in order.
And you have to submit to that. Yeah. You have to submit to that.
That's what we're gonna talk about that, and how all of that worked out. And it's exciting. I think she may open up her calendar to allow some people to talk to her after, so we're gonna see, because people, we need, especially in this time.
Yeah, we need it.
Our community is suffering, and I believe that we'll talk about this another time, but it's based upon the faults that we have in our households.
Yeah.
Our community is a shambles because of our house.
Because our house looks like a shambles.
Yes.
And it's your outside mirrors your inside, right? So if your physical house, if you go in your physical house and stuff is all over the place, it's just no order to it, that's what's inside your head. Right. Your head is like that. So then if you want to get it in order, let's get the head, the stuff that's on the internal, right? So that the stuff on the outside can be right.
Yep, so we can get our communities back in order.
Get our communities in order.
So that's what we want to do. That's why we're here. I grew up on 12th Street, and that my desire is for, the people that are there to get some of this. And so I want to share with you guys, one of the people that helped me to get myself in order.
Oh, yeah, I'm excited. When she said yes, I was excited. So I'm just, wow. So, all right. So that's it for tonight.
Yep.
So don't forget, Couples on the Couch, 6 p.m.
on Saturday.
On Saturday, pre-Mother's Day special.
It's going to be recorded also, so if you miss it, don't worry. Go
we'll
back
put it on YouTube. So go to YouTube and sign up to our YouTube channel. So whenever we upload a video, it'll show up. And
turning two into one.
Turning two into one at YouTube. All right. And so as always, don't forget to
never give up, never give in,
and never let go.
Never ever. We're in it with you.